What is going on? This is episode 4, so you haven't seen 1 through 3. You got to see those first. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about what I believed happened in that apartment that day my mom lost her life. So, because of the previous domestic violence that my father was known to do, I believe they got in an altercation that day. Who knows about what? Um, I believe he suffocated her, and that's how she passed. I remember there was decomposition because she had been deceased for a couple of weeks before they found her. And there's certain things when they do an autopsy that can't be ruled out. The obvious can be ruled out. There's no gunshot wounds, stab wounds, um, things like that. But suffocation is one of those things that couldn't be ruled out. The only thing they had to go with was she had alcohol in her system, Prozac in her system. And they say large amount. Who knows what a large amount is? Remember, the trash cans were empty. There's no beer bottles, alcohol found in the apartment. No Prozac bottles were found in the apartment. I believe he killed her, laid her in that bed. Remember, she was pretty much beat together, laying on her back, hands by her side, covered up nice and neat entirely. Her house shoes that were laying beside the bed, left foot where the right foot was, should have been, and vice versa. Meaning they were placed there. The chair that was blocking the bathroom entry, also access around to the side of the bed where she was at, that was facing the bed. I believe he sat in that chair after he killed her and thought, whatever he thought. If you remember, the only witness was the witness who called the police because there was an odor coming from the apartment. She stated that she seen my father coming and going from the apartment recently, but didn't see my mom. So the reason why there was no beer bottles or Prozac bottles or anything found in the apartment was he took those out. Those were put in the trash. He left and got on that Greyhound and went to his family in Kentucky. So obviously he could only take so much stuff with him on a Greyhound, and that's why he left things like his clothes and some of his collectibles were in that apartment. I know in my heart that he did it. Like I said, there's domestic violence in the past. The way her body was laid in that bed, the way that chair was placed there, the house shoes being, you don't cross your feet to take your shoes off. It all adds up to something happened, and then the place was tidied up a bit, and he took off. And 22 years later, after 18 years of searching for him and finally finding him, and he has no desire at all to talk to me, to be in my life. If somebody was innocent, why wouldn't they talk to their own child? We didn't have the best relationship in the world before this happened, but we talked. Like I said, he was at my house a couple of weeks prior to my mom being found dead. There's no reason unless he did something. So, here we stand. Police not doing nothing. I've done everything I could do. It comes down to a confession out of him. And if he never feels like, he should confess, he'll take it to the grave. I don't, I think a trained detective could sit down with him and probably get him to crack, but they're not going to do that. They haven't interviewed him. They're not going to interview him. Supposedly, not supposedly, but he is a person of interest on the police report. But of course, that police report was made before the autopsy. So once the autopsy came out and was ruled suicide, there's no suicide note. Nothing that she supposedly took to kill herself was found in the apartment. No evidence of it, bottles or anything. They're simply not going to do anything. Unfortunately, there's no witnesses. There's no evidence of anything. It's all down to a confession. And until I can come up with a way to either get a confession out of him or he voluntarily comes forward and confesses, hopefully that day will come, that there can be closure. But until then, I keep doing what I'm doing, playing detective. Who knows when something's going to come up. I've recently talked to the apartment manager that was the manager of the apartment complex. Once again, she couldn't help. She's a really nice lady, and I really appreciate her talking to me. She couldn't help. She didn't know anything that would help. She doesn't remember time frames of when she last seen her. Who remembers the last day you seen somebody, unless something tragic happened? When's the last time you've seen your sister? I don't know. Last week, what day, what time? That alone is hard to remember. And now we're 22 years into this. There's no hope, hardly, of anybody remembering anything that could really help. Unless one of his family members comes forward with something that would help me. Like I said, I don't know if he's told them anything or not. If he has told them anything, one of his brothers has already passed away. So if he told his brother anything, unfortunately his brother is gone. So that information was gone to the grave as well. But we just keep going. Like I said, if you guys got comments or suggestions, of enough money, I guess I could hire a PI. I really don't know if that would help. Like I said, when there's no evidence and things like that to go on, it's very hard. Like tracking him, I've done that. I know where he's at. But legally, I can only do so much before I get myself in trouble, which is fine. I mean, if I get in trouble for trying to do the police's job, what does that say about our justice system? But I really think someone interviewing him could break him. I don't think he's strong enough to be able to go through that and not break. Lie detector test, even though that's not held up in court. If he failed the lie detector test, that would just give more probable cause, more reasons to get him to crack, But I'm going to keep this video short. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. This is part 4. There will be a part 5. And maybe more. So, thanks for watching. Till next time.